Hello and welcome to Trish Rock Inspires podcast and TV show, where you will be inspired by people truly living on purpose and loving life. Perhaps your passion, your purpose, and your empowered self will be sparked into action. Enjoy this episode and please subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. Hello and welcome. I'm so glad you are here. This is episode 6, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do. And if you're watching this on one of my social media channels, then the links will be in the description for you to subscribe, and you can subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. It is available everywhere. So then you'll never miss an episode. And I've got some fantastic guests coming up, so stay tuned for that. In this episode, I want to talk about the power of perception, but also the price of perception. Last week, I did a 5-day challenge in my Facebook group called The Power of Perception. But what really became apparent was the price of perception. And, what price are we paying in our lives for a perception that is not serving us? What comes to mind when you hear that? Because there'll be perceptions that you are living out as well that are not necessarily true, but they're really affecting your vibrancy in life, your manifesting your dreams and all of that. They really do affect everything. And one of the biggest thing that became apparent during the challenge was the perception of not being enough, not being able to do it, worth, value. And of course, there are a lot of underlying beliefs and a lot of things that we have in our subconscious. And they do come out in challenges like this, right? Where we are asking, is what we're really thinking true? And you've got to actually get to the perception that's driving your beliefs and your actions before you can change them. And sometimes, you think you are changing the driving force, but actually it's just something in the peripheral that you are working on and doing a lot of personal work on. And then when the results don't come, it can be very frustrating. But the only reason is that you're not working on the right perception. And not that there's any right or wrong, but if you're not working on the core perception, then anything that has eventuated because of that core perception will remain until that perception is shifted. So what we did in the challenge was work through that and just get really clear on at least one thing in life that that they were feeling stuck on. So I want to ask you that as well. What's one thing that you are feeling really stuck on in life right now, no matter how much you've tried, no matter how much you've learned, no matter how much personal development you've done? What is that frustrating thing that is really calling you? It could be something to do with your career, could be your next step in business. It could be, it could be the point of view that you've got about yourself and how you look. It could be that point of view about yourself and your value. So what is it, and what's the story that is going through your head when you think of that thing? So, for instance, let's say that you are expanding your intuitive gifts, either in the healing field or in some type of energy field with crystals, with jewelry, something like that. And you really want to take that next step and do something quite simple, seemingly simple, like creating a Facebook shop. Now, it may seem simple to some, but when you've got a perception that you're not good enough to be doing that, it will really hold you back on all counts. And even something as simple as just even creating a social media page will stop you in your tracks. And there'll be all sorts of excuses. I don't know how. Oh, what will my family say? Oh, no one's going to come and like my stuff anyway, right? There's all of those things that go on in our heads, all coming from that same perception, that same point of view that we took on at one point in time, that we weren't good enough. Or no value, or who are you to do that? Yeah. So when you can really question that is when you'll have those breakthroughs. And as I said during the challenge this week to all the participants, and as I say to my clients, we can't really eat the whole buffet at once and feel good, right? You've got to, it's like, what's that other old saying? You can't eat the elephant all at once. It needs to all be in bits. Not that you would want to eat an elephant. Right? But it needs to be in little bits. So if you have a belief around money or scarcity or lack, trying to fix all of that in one go will lead to frustration, and it will lead to a feeling of failure, a sense of failure. But if you can choose one point of view from that pool of belief, if you can choose one point of view from that scarcity belief and be aware of that, then you can shift that easily within a couple of days. And then you go to the next one. And there's a story that I told everybody this week. Back in 2012, 2011, 12 to about 2014 or 15, I really was struggling with scarcity. And I can't say that I didn't have money coming in, because I did, but I was really struggling with that scarcity mindset, which I had never had before in my life, or so I thought. But actually I did, and I was just cleverly disguising it. But anyway, it really came to the fore in those years, and I really had to look at it. What is this lack mindset that I've got, mainly around money? And, I really did try all sorts of things to fix it and change it and overcome it. But ultimately, it just felt too big. It felt too big. But when I decided to do it bit by bit, one perception at a time, things started changing for me. And the first perception that I shifted, the first point of view that I had, was that unless I had money in the bank, I wasn't abundant. And that was a big point of view, but it was kind of singled out, so I could just question that, rather than my whole scarcity mindset. I could question that one thought, that one perception. Is that really true? Is that really true? What if I could feel abundant right now, no matter what's in my bank account? Yeah. And that really shifted a lot quicker than what I was trying before. But here's what I mean about, sometimes there's a bigger belief behind all of it, that, you've got to kind of chip away at the perceptions of it. Yeah. And just last week, or actually the week before, I was at the petrol station, And I hopped out and I was getting some fuel. And I thought, oh, I'll just get $20. Why? Why are you just getting $20 of fuel? And I realized in that moment that it was still a bit of residue from my old lack mindset, where, you know, there were many times where I had to choose between petrol and something else, right? And many times I had to make excuses, couldn't see my family and things like that, because I seriously didn't have the money to put in my car to get there. So that became a bit of a thing, and a habit, right? And still to this day, all these years later, right? I noticed it the other day at the fuel station. I'm like, really? Just fill the damn tank, right? Like, it only costs $50 to fill my car, okay? So, like, I've had it there for quite some time, but still, all these years later, I just put little bits and pieces in it so that I don't run out of money. So I cleared that, I filled the car up, and I will continue to do that now, because I've let go of that perception that I need to do it in little bits. And I won't be surprised if, you know, over the next years, that other little bits of that belief come up to clear as well. And, you know, this is really key when you're wanting to move forward with a new belief and a new point of view. It's the awareness in the moment. And if you try to take on the whole thing all at once, often it's too much, especially if it's a really big belief that you're holding. So it's in those moments where you can really question yourself. And, you know, what is it for you right now that has popped into your mind straight away that is holding you back? What's the conversation in your head when you really want to go do something, and in your head there's a little point of view telling you you can't for some reason? What is that? That is the one to work on right now, because that is the one you can question. And you can say, really, is that true? Like, even something simple, if you're standing in the kitchen one morning and you get like some inspired idea about something, and you go, oh, wow, that would be awesome. Might even just be something really simple, like, oh, I must go down and check out that new thing at the shop. And your little voice in your head says, you can't do that. Instead of letting that voice win, question it in the moment. Like, who says I can't? What if I could? What if I could? And have that conversation in your head, have that perception. What if I could? How would that feel? What would that look like? Is it something that I really want to do? So simply being in the awareness and questioning those points of view that come up will really move you to places a lot faster. And, you know, the price of your perception about yourself right now, or about something in your life, what is that costing you? What is that costing you? Is it costing you your next relationship? Is it costing you your business? Is it costing you your career that hasn't even started yet? Is it costing you your, fruition of a great idea that you had? Is it costing you your peace? Is it costing you your self-care and self-love and nurture? What is the price of that perception that you've got right now? How is it impacting your life? And how would it feel to change that? How would it feel? How would it feel just to question it? Is that really true? What if I could do that? What if that wasn't true about me? What if the way I saw myself wasn't the way I am? What if I was smarter than that person said I was? What if I was capable of doing that thing? What if I was creating something that people flocked to buy? What if I was making a difference in the world just with my little actions? So I want you to ask yourself that this week, and be in the awareness when you have that voice in your head telling you can't do something, or you're not good enough, or who are you to do that? Question it. Ask yourself, is that really true? Why can't I do that? What if I did? What if I did? And that will spark that curiosity in life and within you. And when you've got curiosity about the possibilities that are out there for you, when you've got that curiosity, so many possibilities open up for you. And, your perceptions on things really become expanded. And there's infinite possibilities out there for you. And, one of the prices we pay, I guess, of limited perception is that we don't see those possibilities. And then we have a belief that that's just not for us. But what if it was, right? So something for you to think about this week, and certainly reach out if you're having some issues with this and really can't get your head around it. Please reach out. All of the details are in the description. You can come and like my Facebook group and my page, and let's sort this out for you. Let's sort this out for you. Life's too short to be running on a perception that isn't true. Okay. Thank you. And I hope you have a fantastic week.
Thank you for tuning in to another inspiring episode of Trish Rock Inspires podcast and TV show. I am a psychic, spiritual guide and a transformation mentor, and you can find me at trishrock.com. You can find all the episodes of Trish Rock TV over on our Facebook page, and if you'd like to be a guest on the show, please apply for a media kit at trishrock.com. See you next time.